Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty unique, this idea of a life portrait. Our sources are describing it as this dynamic digital way to capture a life's moments. Not just a photo album, but really a living tribute, whether it's for someone still with us or, as a commemoration. So our mission today, we want to pull out the key bits from the material on how you can make these portraits incredibly personal. Really get into how you can turn your photos, your videos, all those keepsakes into something truly meaningful for you.
Exactly. And we're not just looking at the how-to steps, are we? We're digging into the why. Why adding these personal touches makes such a difference. It's about helping you connect more deeply with, well, preserving that legacy, making it really resonate.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
The sources say every life portrait starts with a story, that the biography section is fundamental. It's not just like an optional intro.
No, not at all. Think of it as setting the stage. It establishes the emotional tone, provides that crucial context. It really invites people in, whether it's a full life story, maybe a heartfelt obituary, or even just a warm introduction for someone who's still living. It's about capturing their essence.
Right. And the sources get specific about what you can include. Things like, well, where they're from, what shaped them, hobbies, passions, those defining characteristics, milestones, achievements.
Yeah.
And also the little things, right? Funny quirks, favorite memories, guiding values, the stuff that makes them them.
Exactly. It paints that richer picture beyond just the facts and dates. And what's really neat is how flexible it is. The source mentions you can even adapt it for pets, describing their personality, their funny habits, their favorite spot in the house, the joy they bring. It recognizes that all lives we cherish have stories worth telling.
Okay, so the biography is the foundation. Got it. Now, how do we make the actual photos more alive?
Yeah.
The material talks about adding recounts or stories. What does that actually involve?
Well, the idea is to move beyond just looking at a picture. The platform lets you attach a narrative directly to an image. So you'd click on a photo, say in the gallery, under time, and there's a text box right there for you to add the story behind it.
Ah, okay. So you could write about maybe what was happening right then, who was there, or even why that whole year was important. Could be something funny or maybe more reflective.
Precisely. It could be a short anecdote, a deeper reflection, whatever gives that image context and meaning. The source really emphasizes how these written memories breathe life into static images. They offer much deeper meaning for anyone viewing the portrait. It turns looking at photos into experiencing moments, and it all saves automatically, which is convenient. Lets you focus on the memory itself.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Moving on. The album cover. The sources highlight this as being super important. The first thing people see, right? Sets the tone immediately, like the cover of a book.
Exactly. It's that initial impression. Now, the system itself is clever. It often picks a cover automatically, and it might even change over time. But, and this is key, you have full control. You can manually pick the photo you want as the cover and lock it in. So you're consciously deciding how that story visually begins for anyone visiting.
So you want to choose maybe a big milestone. Or perhaps a quieter, candid shot that really captures their spirit. Something that just feels right as the main image for this whole tribute.
Yes, exactly. Whatever best represents the person or the overall feeling you want to convey. And this customization isn't just for the main cover. You can set different cover images for the time, people, and places sections too. So each section can have its own thematic introduction. And for places specifically, you can organize memories by location, customize those covers, and there's even a global map view. It makes the geographical journey really clear and engaging.
That's pretty detailed. Okay, let's talk about the smaller details. The source mentions adding short descriptions to individual photos. Say that sometimes the biggest impact is in those little notes.
Right. It's not just about the big stories. On each photo, there's an edit option. And beyond tagging faces or adding a date and location, you can add a short, meaningful description. Think of them as little captions, but potentially much more.
Just a little snippet of memory.
Exactly.
Like the examples they give could be noting a funny moment that isn't obvious from the picture.
Yeah.
Or something touching. Or even just simple context like Christmas morning, 1991 in Montebello.
Yes, the simple details. The source points out that these small additions really make each image come alive. They help future viewers understand the significance. It acknowledges that memories aren't just single points in time, they're layered. These descriptions help reveal those layers.
So we've got biography, stories with photos, covers, descriptions. What about things that aren't photos? The sources say don't limit the tribute just to images. They introduce a keepsakes section. What fits in there?
Ugh. This is where it gets really expansive. You can upload and preserve a whole range of things. Audio clips like voice memos, PDFs, maybe documents or letters, actual video files, and of course other images too. It's about capturing more dimensions of a person's life and legacy.
Wow, okay, so you could actually hear a loved one's voice telling a story, or read their handwriting in a letter.
Hmm?
Maybe preserve a family recipe as a PDF, or watch a video message they recorded. That's
Yeah.
powerful. It even mentions recording a voice memo directly into the platform.
Yes, exactly. Imagine hearing that voice again, or seeing that recipe in their own writing. These aren't just static memories anymore. The source describes them as becoming tangible moments. They speak, they show, they connect in ways photos alone just can't. It engages more senses.
And within keepsakes, there's this other feature mentioned, set future unlock dates. They also call it a memory time capsule.
Right. This is a really thoughtful touch. It lets you upload a keepsake, maybe a voice recording, a video, a letter, but set it so it only becomes visible on a specific date in the future.
Like a surprise?
Exactly. Perfect for a future birthday or an anniversary, or just a message you want someone to receive down the road. It adds this element of anticipation, of ongoing connection, a really meaningful layer to the whole idea of legacy.
That is a cool feature. Okay, so bringing it all together, the sources emphasize that this isn't a one-and-done thing. Life changes, and your tribute can too. You can go back and update it.
Absolutely. That's a core aspect. You can return any time to add new stories, update existing ones, upload more recent photos or keepsakes. The benefit, really, is that the portrait grows and evolves. Its emotional depth can increase over time. It becomes this dynamic, living legacy that reflects life as it happens. Whether it's your own life or someone you're commemorating, it stays relevant.
And for what they call living portraits, tributes for people still with us, there's even a feature with reminders.
Yes, the platform can apparently send gentle prompts, just nudging you to perhaps revisit and add something new, maybe a recent milestone or just a small, meaningful moment that happened. It helps ensure the portrait stays current and vibrant.
So you don't have to constantly remember on your own.
Right. The idea is you never need to worry about forgetting to preserve what matters most. It supports that ongoing process.
So when you pull all these pieces together,
Mm-hmm.
the biography, the stories, the keepsakes, the ability to evolve it, this life portrait concept, it's framed as much more than just looking back. It's like a canvas, right? For love, memory, legacy. And the act of personalizing it with all these details we talked about, that's what makes the moments truly unforgettable.
Exactly. It highlights how you can actively shape that narrative, how you share your story or the story of someone important to you.
Hmm.
It's about making sure the richness, the details, the voice, the nuances, that they're not just preserved, but presented in a way that fosters connection, turning data into something deeply human.
It really makes you think differently about memories. So here's a final thought for you, our listener. What new layer of your own story or a loved one's story could you unlock if you started thinking about memories not just as static images, but as these living, evolving narratives just waiting to be shared in all these unique ways?